Part two, continuing on. So, they said Lamanites, eliminate the Lamanites, for they are God's outlaws. For they, basically roughly paraphrase, made Yahweh mad. And which he tells you this in Baruch chapter 4, how both kingdoms went off and he scattered us. And I just brought that out to touch on what he said in this video about the Aztecs and what they were doing, the wickedness. For all have fallen short of the glory of Yahweh. But back to the subject matter, man. Egyptians versus Egyptians.
And they never will be. Nobody cares about the morality, about being a good person. That's crazy. It's stupid. Like, it's so delusional.
I'm not Catholic like they are, which is ironic because it's religion's supposed to make you love. But I could see it
religion is supposed to make you love. Really?
They just don't get it, and they don't get that they voted for.
Yeah, that's the wine of Babylon. Yahweh tells you there's a time for everything under the sun. There's a time to kill. There's a time to heal. There's a time to hate. There's a time to love. There's a time to this. There's a time to that. Yahweh tells you this in Ecclesiastes chapter 3. The writings of our dear beloved King Solomon. So, see, this is what the wine of Babylon has done to the minds of the people.
Someone who's gonna make my friends' lives hell. My life's okay. I'm a white woman, but my friends are
saw this part.
Someone who's gonna make my friends' lives hell. My life's okay. I'm a white woman, but
she's not white. She's an Edomite. And what she's saying is truth. They're not going to be okay because they have judgment. Everybody has judgment coming. But what she's saying to an extent is, Trump is in office and everyone thinks of him as the Democrats. They think of him as a rude and a cruel ruler. Just as this prophecy is stated right here in Isaiah 19, it says, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, said the Lord of hosts. And notice what she said right there. So, and the elders, they refer to, Donald Trump, or Donald Duck, as I call him sometimes, as Nero coming back. We don't put nothing past these devils, man. We don't put nothing past these devils, man. They are the wicked, like the Bible says. But you have to understand who controls the wicked. And that's what you people don't realize or don't comprehend. Psalm 17, verse 13. See, these are the secret things of the Most High, the secret things of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. Psalm 17:13, it says, arise, O Lord, Yahweh, disappoint him, that being the wicked, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is your sword. So judgment and wickedness and demons and Satan, all of that, man, they all work for Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, and they're his sword. They're the left hand. And when you really grasp that, when you dive into these prophecies, when you dive into these scriptures, you'll realize that. Not only that, you'll realize that Yahweh, as I said or brought out in many lessons past, he creates evil. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 4. Yeah, God creates evil. A Christian, they can't fathom that. A Bible casual, they can't fathom that because they drunk off the wine of Babylon. They drunk off that wine of Babylon. They listen to their pastor, their deacon, their elder, their brother. They don't go do the diving and the digging for themselves. Proverbs 16, 4-5. It says, Yahweh, the Lord, has made all things. Just as Sirach 18 said, Yahweh has made all things. It says, for himself, for his pleasure. It says, yeah, even the wicked, that means wickedness, that means unrighteousness, that means evil. even the wicked for the day of evil. So he created it all, man. You can't be all powerful if you don't have control of both fashions. You can't be all powerful if you don't have control of both fashions. You have a left arm and a right arm, right? Left arm, right arm, left leg, right leg. Same thing with Yahweh. He has the left hand and the right hand. Left hand angels, right hand angels. You have the angels and the demons and the angels. He controls everything. And I always say that too, man. That's one thing them Christians had right. And that hymn, that psalm, that song, that he got the whole world in his hands. That's probably the only thing they just about stayed the course on, because that's the truth.
I saw this part, yeah. Yep. That's the way it is. By the way, I went to the gas station today. There were two guys, both of them were non-white, that were hyping each other up about the fact that Trump won. They were like right next to the counter, and they're like, yeah, bro, and then so we're gonna take away all the women's rights. He's like, what, really, bro? Yeah, dude, he said that.
And we begin our final sprint, having arrived at that point in the election season where basically we on this side of the TV screen have said all we can. We've laid out the stakes in this crucial election, where one side stands for freedom while the other meets the textbook definition of fascism.
So this is nothing but prophecy just playing through your face. And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptians, and they shall fight one another. These policies. Really, every time there's a presidential debate, there's Egyptian versus Egyptian when you think about it. And then you can take that to a smaller degree on these other levels with these corporations. All of this garbage here in Babylon, man. Here in Egypt, it says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fall in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and the wizards. So it's prophecy, biblical prophecy.
A far-right dictatorial.
Again, look at Benito Mussolini. There's plenty examples of people that will immediately vote for a fascist option because it's better than the current option or what they think their current life is. It's amazing to me that like this is even something that they don't understand.
A regime like Hitler's Germany or Franco's Spain or Mussolini's Italy, but also white ruled South Africa before Mandela and the black majority took control, or Vladimir Putin's Russia, Viktor Orban's Hungary, or Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela today, that suppresses the rights of women and minorities, uses the military to execute the whims of a strongman dictator, and controls and suppresses the press, education, the arts, rewrites history to suit a favored and dominant racial class, and foments extravagant corruption in order to enrich.
Has it ever occurred to you that maybe history has been rewritten for you to think that fascism lost, but in fact, in some cases, it ended up winning? But the people that were in charge wrote it as if they lost, and they gave it a favorable coverage. It's kind of like what Norm Macdonald said. Oh, wow.
Like, I full on removed myself from Hinge, Bumble, like, I didn't even think twice about it. There's no way I am letting any man near me.
I don't believe any man wants to be near her. You see how she look.
Ain't no way in hell I'm leaving my man. I'm not here to judge anybody doing this 4B movement, but telling people to divorce their husbands is crazy. Time doesn't heal all wounds. Hard work, innovation.
In the wake of Donald Trump's historic win, there's a new movement sweeping America. Disappointed
And that's what's wrong with you Egyptians and you Babylons. You always want to be on the next trend and the next fad and the next movement and the next this and the next that. Y'all just like to win, man. And that's the name of this thing. It's called the 4B movement. But this is really, Egyptian versus Egyptian. And then in a way, it's kind of like, well, these devils at the top, they really played on y'all tops. They played on y'all tops because we the prophets, we see right through the shenanigans. We see right through the facade. We see through all of it. We have the spiritual eyesight. They really put man versus woman and woman versus man with Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, playing on the battle of the sexes. The battle of the sexes and whatnot. But we know how Yahweh feels about it. We know how Yahweh feels. Yahweh is a patriarch. He's a patriarch individual. So it's a patriarch society when it comes to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai.
women are actually swearing off men.
There's no way I am letting any man near me for the next few years.
They're saying no to dating, no to marriage, no to sex,
Celibacy, at least to me, isn't that hard.
and no to having children.
Like so many other women in America who have been considering trying to get pregnant, I woke up today and said, nope, not anymore.
This woman is actually
And the women she's talking about are the Edomites. Because Israelite women get pregnant all the time. It's you Edomite women that can't get pregnant. Those don't, them shitty genetics. The shitty genetics that you have. So,
leaving her head in protest. It's being called the 4B movement, and women are taking to social media declaring their allegiance. The 4B movement was actually started by women in South Korea back in 2019 as part of their version of the Me Too movement. The number 4 refers to dating, marriage, sex, and children.
This movement's way more important now than ever.
26-year-old Alexa Vargas joined the movement 2 years ago and expects a surge of interest in the wake of the Trump victory. So you, in 2022, swore off dating forever.
Not forever. We're not going to settle for low-value men that don't respect us anymore.
But lots of women are mocking the no marriage, no sex movement.
Wait, that woman was cutting her hair off? Oh, bold.
Wild.
The fact that these crazos are out here, they're like, we're not touching men. I hope that means more for me.
so there you have it, man. More shenanigans. Shenanigans after shenanigans, man. Facades. This movement, that movement, this trend, that trend, man. This is all of the work of Babylon. Babylon, Babylon, Babylon. And these people, these Babylonians, these Egyptians, they're drunk off the wine of Babylon. Next thing you know, tomorrow is going to be a new movement, another facade that we're going to see right through. The apostles. But that's just the thing. So let's tie it into biblical prophecy. This is why America is going to be eradicated. America, mystery Babylon. Jeremiah chapter 51, it says, Babylon's pride, Babylon has fallen. It says, thus said the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind, and them nuclear missiles. It says, and I will send into Babylon fanners, destroying winds, fanners, missiles, nuclear power, nuclear fire. It says, and I will send into Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Against him that bend the archer, against him that bend, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lift himself up in his brigandine, what is that? I always lawnmower this word, man. Brigadine, I believe. It says, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her host. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. For Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah and his God. That's the elect of Israel, of both houses, Judah and Israel. It says, the Lord of hosts, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Yahweh. It says, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. This is how we ended up in these exiles, these captivities. And chiefly, this is how we're far from our borders, which is Jerusalem, which is Israel. It says, flee out of the midst of Babylon, America. That's not saying literally per se. That's saying spiritually, mentally. It says, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul, because we know how we're going to get up out of this Babylon. We're going to get up out of this Babylon by the UFOs. UFOs, man. The UAPs, the UFOs, the spaceships, or as I call it, the AFOs, the angelic flying objects. That's how we're going to get up out of this Babylon. It says, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. One of my favorite scriptures in this chapter, it says, Babylon has been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that have made all the earth drunken. I'll read it again. Babylon has been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. And all of this is little you could say little wineries. I like that. Our people, we love the Bible is parabolic talk, figurative language, and who else speaks in figurative language and parabolic talk more than us, the Israelites? So these little wineries, like this presidential election, you can say that's a little winery. To these sports, little wineries, everything that takes its place in here, the Democrat, Republican, little wineries, sports, little winery, this, that, little wineries. These are all little wineries. These are all the wines, or that wine of Babylon. None of this stuff matters, man. It's basically, it's all small talk. But what you see is the Egyptians versus the Egyptians. And just how Egypt was thrust through, America will be thrust through the same. And America is Babylon. Just like old Babylon was thrust through, this current modern day Babylon will be thrust through. Let me see. Let's grab some more prophecy, man. Some more prophecy, Isaiah. You know what? Let's grab Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14. And this is talking about Babylon and the Babylonians, these modern day Babylonians, and modern day America, Babylon. Confusion, Babel. That's what Babel, confusion. Remember, they built the tower up to the heavens, or well, at least they tried to build the tower up to the heavens. And Yahweh confused them. He switched up the language. Remember that account. Isaiah 14, it says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, the house of Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, the house of Israel, man, the two kingdoms, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Native Indians, Negroes, Hispanics, Latins, whose fathers go back to the ancient, whose fathers go back to the ancient Paleo Hebrew sons. I like that. whose fathers go back to the ancient Paleo-Hebrew sons, man, which are the 13 technically, but 12 sons, 12 founding fathers, if you will, of the house of Israel. It says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. So we're going to go back to our borders. We're going to go back to Jerusalem, back to Israel. We're no longer going to dwell in these lands, which these lands are our lands anyway, but we're going to go back to the capital. We're going to go back to the chief place, which is Jerusalem, which is Israel. Now look at this. In my last video, dog, Salachia. In my last video, man, or dog, whatever, man. You know how with Jacob, man, we're the salt of the earth. I talked about the UFOs. I said, well, they're not UFOs. They're the angelic flying objects, as I call them, AFOs. But look at this. It says, the AFO swarms filmed buzzing over Area 51 and other U.S. military sites for months following mothership encounter. And I said this in my last video, man, where I talked about why these devils won't let people go to Area 51 and why they won't let you go to what was the Grand Canyon and whatnot. And because the angels, man, so many there's so much angel activity. So much angel activity happening. And they like to keep stuff hush hush. But you can't hide Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, man. And these very AFOs or UFOs, as Esau calls them, these things here, them flying saucers, and what y'all call them, they're going to beam up the elect. They're going to beam up the elect. And look at that. That's interesting. I didn't know you could see the flicking right there. What is that flicking? But they're going to beam up the elect. As you can see right there. 144,000. The UFOs, as you can see, the AFOs, the angelic flying objects, the flying saucers, the beams of lights, the orbs that be all up in the heavens, they're going to beam up the 144,000. Look at that. Look at the number. 1444. The 144,000. And now look at the beaming light like that. We're going to get beamed up. And them beaming lights. Them beaming lights are going to beam us up. Beam us up, Scotty. Yahweh willing. We want to be the hopeful elect. We don't know. But, interesting. 144,000, the numbers of them which were sealed out of all of the houses of Israel and Judah. The orbs of light, the flying saucers, as you know, Esau calls them, the UFOs. They're going to beam us up, man. You see that flickering light? I'm find out what that is, why it's flickering. But there's going to be some flickering lights, man, when those chariots come to redeem the elect of Israel. The elect of Israel, man, Yahweh willing. But Isaiah 14, it says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the houses of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. So we're going to take the heathen nations, the Gentile nations, and put them in captivity. This is the restoration of Israel. Just as we were their subjects, and we're still technically their subjects. You know, we're the children of God. We're the people of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. So just if Yahweh done this to us, just imagine what he's going to do to y'all. Think about that. If you would discipline your child for doing something crazy, Like, how fast would you discipline a person that's not your child for doing something crazy? You feel me? You understand? So when these people talk about that there will not be no future recompense for these Gentiles, well, they don't know the prophecies, and they're not too tied in, because it literally tells you that this one Gentile nation, the house of Esau, has great pending judgment. So I mean, how can you debunk that? Isaiah 14 verse 2 again, it says, and the people, which is the Israelites, shall take them, the them being the heathen nations, the Gentiles, and bring them to their place. Our place is going to be Jerusalem, home sweet home, Zion, home sweet home, Israel, Jerusalem, Yashrala, and Yahawada, Zion, Zion, man, the holy mountain, Zion. It says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for slaves. That's what a servant is. It's a nice way for saying slave. Call a spade a spade. I'm done sugarcoating and playing, man. We done playing with sugarcoating, man. The Bible is what the Bible is. More so, the prophecies are what the prophecies are. Slaves. We were slaves. How did the Southern Kingdom come here to America? By slave ship and chattel slavery. And what did you devils do to the Northern Kingdom when y'all came here to America? Y'all enslaved them. Y'all enslaved the Native Indians and the Latin Indian, as y'all call them. Really, we're all like Indian. They call them Indian rather, but even the Latin Indians, Blackfoot, Cherokee, which we know they are Gad and Reuben, and then Taino Indian and Dominican and Puerto Rican, we know they are Ephraim and Simeon, from those tribes. So you slaved them tribes, the northern tribes. You slaved the Israelites, Esau. You know what you done. And not only Esau, you other nations. Y'all know what y'all done to God's children. Y'all know what y'all done, man. And y'all know what's coming. Your scholars know what's coming. Your scholars know the future judgments. Your scholars read our manuscript, read our artifact or artifacts, just like we have been woken up in this last hour to read and comprehend them and gather our books. So y'all know what's up, man. And it shall come. Y'all just hope that y'all wasn't banking on us waking back up. That's what it was. You devils didn't, you paid so much billions and trillions of dollars to keep the children of God asleep, and you didn't bank. But then again, I don't know, because if your scholars read the scriptures, then you should surely know, or you should surely knew or would have known that the children of Yahweh and Yahawada, the children of Yasharallah and the children of Yahawada was going to rise and come back. If your scholars were spot on. I assume that you devils didn't know what time. You knew that we were going to awake, because that's biblical prophecy, that's spiritual prophecy, but you devils didn't know what time. That's what it is. That's what it is. I figured it out. That's what it was, because surely your scholars knew. You got our manuscripts, you got our artifacts, you digging up our stuff, you got our gold, you got our silver, you got our land, you got all of our stuff. Surely you knew that we were going to wake back up. You just didn't know what time or when. That's what it was. But Isaiah 14, it says, and it shall come to pass in the day that Yahweh shall give you rest from your sorrow and from your fear and from the hard bondage where you were made to serve. Because why? Because of our disobedience. Our disobedience is why we went through the sorrow, we went through the fear, we went through the hardships and the bondage, and we still go through it to this day, to some degrees and fashions. And there's future prophecy of this coming again, which is called Yashra'Allah's trouble, which is called Jacob's trouble. But the election, the elect, will be saved. We will be kept. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah willing. We will be, these UFOs, these angels, these orbs, these lights, I'm pretty sure they're going to be watching over us. They're going to be watching over us, protecting us. Come on now. These UFOs are going to be watching us. Swing low, sweet cherry. Yeah. When our ancestors, those Israelites was in those plantations, they was swinging low, carrying the people home, protecting. I'm pretty sure the angels are going to, there's many accounts of Yahweh sending the angels to protect his children. So we're going to be, just got to have that faith. Got to have that faith, Yashra'Allah, Yahweh. Those angels are going to protect the anointed, the people, the children of God. Michael, the archangel, will protect the children. It says, Isaiah 14:3 says, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from your sorrow and from your fear, from your hard bondage where you were made to serve. Why was we made to serve? Because we went off. So Yahweh scattered us. Verse 14, it says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. But everybody wanted Kamala to be in there. Then that wouldn't have fit prophecy. Then it would say the queen of Babylon. So the king of Babylon, man, it says, thou that shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressor seized, the golden city seized. Babylon has been the golden cup, the golden city. So many parallels. So many things, spiritual things. But Babylon, man, this is what you see. This is what you see playing forth. Egyptian versus Egyptian. And it's only going to get worse and worse and worse. When they set it up to where Trump then did this, Trump then did that, Trump then did this, as this Edomite hope, as this white hope for America. Donald Trump, the savior of America. Donald Trump did this in less than 2 seconds. Donald Trump did this less than 1 minute. Donald Trump did that. Donald Trump did this. Oh, hell, Donald Trump. They're making him seem like he's, they're making him to be like he's the prodigal son, the man of the hour, Yahushua HaMashiach. Who you ignorantly call Jesus. They making him seem like he's the Jesus. And it's all a facade. It's all a play. But there's only one that's going to redeem the house of Judah and the house of Israel. And this prophecy speak of when they shall say peace and security. When these Gentiles, when these nations shall say peace and security, then great destruction, because that's going to piss Yahweh off. You around here doing all this wickedness, got my children in captivity. This, yada, 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 and y'all talking about peace and security. Bring the destruction. And that's when Yahweh is going to bring the destruction. It says the Lord has broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with the continual stroke hold. He that ruled the nations, that's all the Gentile nations, these sanctions on all of these nations. And these nations, they're getting tired of the sanctions. This is why they came up with the BRICS. They send their economic hitman to go forth and mess up economies, put sanctions on the nations. These nations, they're woke. They're coming in with BRICS. They're tired of the fiat currency. It says, he who smote the people with wrath with continual hold, he that ruled the nations in anger and persecuted and none hinder. The whole earth is at rest. This is how the earth is going to be in the kingdom. When Yahweh Shai HaMashiach and the angels and the 144,000 put this dragon to bed. The whole earth is at rest and quiet. They break forth into singing. So the trees, the plants, the animals, the earth is going to rejoice. But that's just like a Hollywood movie, right? That's just like a good anime, right? That's just like a good hero movie, right? When the antagonist is put to bed, then it's like that great sigh, right? That great, the great sigh. You know, when you that great sigh, that's what happens when there's no worries, you know, Hakuna Matata. You know, that sigh you let out, that peaceful, that rest. This is how the earth, and this is how those that dwell in the earth are going to feel in the kingdom of heaven. When this dragon is put to bed, when the wicked that rules the nations is put to bed, it says the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yeah, the trees are real. Plants are living organisms. The world itself is a living organism. Did you know that? The world, this world that you live in, the world that we live in is a living, breathing organism. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. This is why you're supposed to have land Sabbaths. Did you know that? This is why this place has to be destroyed. And this is what happens when you have the bases of men ruling the earth. The earth is supposed to have a land Sabbath. You're supposed to give the land a rest. The earth is a living, breathing organism. It says they keep digging in it, keep digging in her rather. We refer to the earth as a her, you know, as the mother. But they keep digging in her, right? They keep digging in the earth. The earth, she needs rest. This is why Yahweh gave land Sabbaths. The whole earth is at rest and it's quiet. They keep digging for that lithium. You know, they're going overtime for that lithium. The oil. Well, other places rather. We still have our oil reserves here. But lithium and other precious metals and other precious resources, they dig all in the earth. They don't give the earth the land Sabbath. But the whole earth is at rest. They cut down all the trees, keep cutting down the trees, keep building these Salakia, these shitty, can't stand Esau's shitty buildings. They keep building these shitty skyscrapers, concrete, these concrete cities, these concrete jungles. It says the whole earth is at rest and it's quiet. Can you imagine how Turtle Island looked before these devils came here? Could you imagine how America looked? Could you imagine how pre-America looked when the Taino Indians, when all the tribes were here, man, when the Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Native Indians, the Seminole Indians, can you imagine how beautiful this place was? All the trees, all the plants, all the animals. Before they brought in all these skyscrapers and concrete and all this crap that they brought to America and to Africa too. You know, Africa is a beautiful land. Africa is amazing. You see, they go over there and build those infrastructures and they industrialize the beautiful land. But the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. It's Isaiah 14:1-7. It says the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou hast laid down, no feller is come up against us. Hell from beneath is moved for you to meet you at your coming. It stirs up the dead for you, even all the chief ones of the earth. It has raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou as become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? This is talking about that antagonist. This is talking about Esau. This is talking about the dragon. It says, thy pumpas. It says thy pumpas is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? This is all parabolic, symbolic, figurative language, metaphoric talk about the house of Esau. And I ain't gonna make this long, but Egyptian versus Egyptian, it's not going to get better, man. It's not going to get better. This is what we're telling you. And you know, they like to refer to us as the prophets of doom and gloom. But a prophet, that's what a prophet does. A prophet always speaks about the doom and gloom, from my understanding. When I pick up my Bible and read my Hebrew Bible and read and study my Hebrew ancestors, they always came on the scene when there was gloom and doom. Chiefly when Yahweh, the Ancient of Days, was about to destroy a specific kingdom, he would send the prophets of doom and gloom. So when they shall say peace and security, that's when the destruction is going to follow, because there's only going to be one individual that's going to bring the real peace and the real security. And I'll end it with that. Revelations chapter 1, verse 7. It says, behold, he comes with clouds, you know, those UFOs, those UAPs, or as I call them, AFOs. AFOs, angelic flying objects. AFOs. It says, Revelations 1:7, behold, he being Hamashiach Yahawashi, or who you ignorantly call Jesus. Behold, he comes with clouds, the UFOs, the orb lights, the flying saucers, the angelic chariots, the clouds. Behold, he comes with clouds. You know, check out the movie Independence Day. That's a good movie that displays the coming of the prodigal son. It says, behold, he comes with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, said Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi, the Lord, which is and which was and which is to come, the Almighty. With that, I'm going to say, Kal Halam La Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Rakak Kadash Barakata Yahweh, the water Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi.